Would you take a happy pill? The future. Our hero, dishevelled but ruggedly handsome, emerges from the sewers of New York, where he spent 20 years living with mutant crocodiles. He discovers a world of horror. Machines have taken over the world. The entire population of humans are lying in coffin-shaped metal pods, electrodes protruding from their heads, wired up to silent computers. At first sight, and to the unheroic eye, they appear to be enjoying their incarceration. The unearthly noise hanging over the city is the sound of 1 million people quietly chuckling to themselves. As our dismayed hero moves swiftly from one tortured individual to the next, the chuckles escalate into uncontrolled giggles, culminating in blood-curdling gales of laughter. Our hero, his rugged brow creased with the burden of being humanity's last hope, struggles to turn off the machines and free his fellow citizens. Tearfully, he greets his weakened comrades as they struggle from their cubicles and seize him passionately. But to his surprise, our conquering hero isn't borne aloft in gratitude. Instead, humanity seems to be more than a little upset with him. They seize him roughly, shave his head and pin him down inside his own little box. He struggles, he fights, but he is but one and they are many. As the electrodes bite into his skull, he grits his teeth and steels his mind to repel the horrific brainwashing he's about to experience. And it's working! His mental strength is too much for this simple machine. A triumph! The thrill of success courses through his body, a thrill like he's never felt before. He's at one with himself, a Renaissance hero after all. He can do anything he damn well likes. He is all-powerful and he chuckles with the joy of it all. As the chuckles escalate into delighted giggles, he realises he's free from the dark forces, free from the tyranny. Finally content, finally at the end of his journey, he barks with laughter. Finally at the end of his journey, he barks with laughter as he discovered what it is to be truly alive. His fellow citizens shake their heads in affectionate amusement. Well, most of us had to try it before we believed it. They sigh as they hurry to their pods, quickly plugging electrodes back into their heads and cranking the power up to 11. Taking control. Is it possible that humans will one day conclude that the only thing that matters to them are the feelings experienced by their conscious minds? Not because they are selfish or badly brought up, but rather because they are built that way, their conscious minds programmed by millions of years of evolution to pursue feelings of pleasure and satisfaction. Will they at the same time become painfully aware of the inherent weakness in the traditional method by which their conscious minds attempt to achieve this aim? Realizing that no matter how much control they achieve over the world they live in, they'll be no closer to achieving satisfaction and contentment than their caveman ancestors. And will their minds turn to a new focus towards a technology that allows them to control the world inside their heads rather than their world outside? The perfect life? Ever dreamed of the perfect life? You've got homes around the world, a yacht in the Caribbean, and more sexy sports cars than you can count. You've just invented a cure for cancer, your friends are film stars, and you travel the world promoting charities for sick children. Not necessarily everyone's idea of a great way to live, but we all have our dreams. And the more optimistic we are, the more outlandish our aims, the less chance we'll ever get to live them. But what if, instead of actually living the dream, you could just enjoy how it felt? You don't actually own the yacht, but you feel just as good as if you did. The president isn't really on the phone for advice on foreign policy, but you feel the same sense of satisfaction as if you were. After all, who needs the actual experience? Surely all we need are the feelings that go with it. And now, ladies and gentlemen, thanks to the miracles of modern science, you too can experience the perfect life. Just climb up onto this hospital bed and we'll put the small drip in your arm and these rather comfortable electrodes into your head. No, don't worry, madam, you won't need a book to read. You can just lie there feeling better than you've ever felt before. No worries, no fears, no guilt, no pain, just perfect, unremitting bliss for the rest of your life. Would you do it? It's rare to find someone whose immediate reaction is, yes, of course I would. What else is life about? Most people think that they'll somehow get bored or that you can't get happy unless you deserve it. They think that taking a pill to get happy is a cop-out or a weakness that would inevitably lead to profound dissatisfaction. Very few people will be willing to give up all the things that are currently important to them, their children, their gardens, their sense of personal identity, in return for what appears to be meaningless, easy pleasure. Everyone's got an opinion about that hospital bed, and the answer is usually no thanks. A Brave New World. In 1930, Aldous Huxley wrote a book that has come to symbolise our instinctive reaction to the proposition of a happy pill. In A Brave New World, Huxley describes a future in which a pill called Soma is used to control the population, to make them content with their lot. People take the drug from the day they're born until the day they die. They're not on hospital beds, they continue with normal lives, but Soma relieves them of the burden when it all gets a little too difficult. Unfortunately, this relief comes at a cost. Not only does it remove the lows of life, it removes the highs as well. There are none of the thrills, none of the elation that we enjoy so much. Life's never difficult, but it's never a joy either. Only the handsome hero suspects that there's anything more to life. He's the only one with the courage to face the difficulties of life without the drug, demanding the right to be unhappy. Huxley presents the story as a warning against designer drugs and their potential use by an oppressive government. In doing so, he accurately mirrors most people's instinctive fear of a happy pill. But let's be realistic. Huxley's pill wasn't much to get excited about. It was more of a tranquilizer than a happy pill, and it came at a high cost. Soma was modelled on some of the drugs that were available on prescription in the 1920s. They were susceptible to tolerance and overdoses were possible. If Soma was the best drug that Huxley could come up with, no wonder he didn't want to take it. Perhaps if he had suggested a drug that was significantly better than life itself, and then given us good reasons why it would be inadvisable to take it, A Brave New World might work as a coherent argument against a happy pill. But as presented, it's nothing more than a warning against indiscriminate use of drugs that don't work very well. The real happy pill, when it comes, won't be a mild sedative. It won't be something that pacifies us when we're bored. The real happy pill, when it comes, will feel like Armstrong felt when he took his one giant leap. Mandela felt when he took his long walk to freedom after 17 years on Robben Island. Churchill felt when Hitler's body was found in Berlin. This drug will activate parts of our brains that normally only get moving when we win Olympic gold, when we get elected president, when we found out that our cancer is cured. After all, it's just neurons firing. It's all just neurons firing. There's nothing else going on in that brain of ours. It's all just neurons firing. There's nothing else going on in that brain of ours. When we fall in love, it's just neurons firing. When we experience the best moment of our lives, and let's hope that hasn't happened yet, it's just neurons firing. When we're so upset we could just kill someone, it's just neurons firing. And even when we're so upset we could just kill ourselves, it's still just neurons firing. So why do we readily and easily reject the idea of a pill that would give us a better life than the world allows us to experience? It's too easy. Where's the challenge in that? It reminds me of the time when I was 10 and my dad let me win at tennis. There was no sense of satisfaction. Pleasures and satisfaction in life come when we achieve something, when we're sufficiently involved in life, sufficiently dedicated to have made something happen that's actually worth feeling good about. There's no gain without pain. We know this because it's our personal experience of life. In our experience, feeling good is only associated with achievement, with overcoming struggles. But the reason it's associated with achievement is because that's how we're wired up. Because we're evolutionary robots and that's what it takes to improve our genetic chances. But the happy pill, or more likely the hospital bed and the electrodes, will not be like real life. It will be a rewiring of the computer, cutting out the whole mechanism that at the moment is controlling the release of the pleasure, and more importantly, cutting out the expectation adjuster. But I want to feel sad when it's the right time to feel sad. If your child dies and you don't feel sad, it somehow seems to imply that you didn't love them, that you're a bad parent and a bad person. But would your dead child have wanted you to feel sad? Evolution wires us up to feel sad when a child dies so that the next time we're in a situation where someone that we love, someone that evolution has told us to love, might be in danger, we'll take greater steps than we might have otherwise done. Evolution decides when the time is right for you to feel sad, not you.